My friend Augie just dropped this off at my house. It's a Yamaha synthesizer from 1979. Augie's father-in-law, a composer named Clayton Larson, recently passed away at the age of 86, and this synth used to belong to him. The question is, does it work? So far, Augie hasn't managed to get many useful sounds out of it, so I asked him if I could borrow it for a few days to try it out. The first thing I'm going to do is switch it into panel mode, which should enable all the knobs. That doesn't sound good. Gotta figure out what's causing the pitch to waver like that. We should be hearing a solid, constant note. Looking up in the left-hand corner, I'm noticing this light is blinking, and it seems to be blinking at the same rate as the pitch fluctuations. Let's see what happens when I turn it down. Okay, that's better. Now the pitch is fluctuating slowly. Of course, I don't want the pitch changing at all. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off one of the oscillators, simplify things as much as possible. These are the controls that correspond to the oscillator we're working with. And in theory, this should allow me to turn off the modulation. Oh, the pitch is still climbing. Can you hear it? Boy, this is bizarre. Maybe it has something to do with the modulation wheel. Let's try something. Let's turn both oscillators on. Oh, the mod wheel's not doing anything. Oh, maybe it's broken and it's stuck in the on position. Let's try these switches. Hey, it's a constant pitch. It's nice to actually be able to play the synth. Sounds cool. I'm going to try to tune the second oscillator up. Let's see what this repeat switch does. That's pretty cool. I wish I had a sequencer. I'm going to set the computer record, and I'm going to try to play a repeated loop by hand. That should definitely be enough. I'm going to chop that up into a loop in Ableton, and then I'm going to play something over it. That's pretty cool. The fact that the mod wheel is stuck in the on position means that we're always going to be modulating either the filter or the pitch. In order to actually be able to use this instrument as intended, we need to either find a way to fix the mod wheel or to disconnect it altogether. So I did some research. I was able to turn up schematics for this synth, as well as this great repair video. So it's not like now where you void your warranty the second you open up a piece of equipment. Back when this was made, they expected people to have to do maintenance on their instrument, and there are even hinges to make it easy to open up. Wow. It's actually very neat in there. As you can see, there's sort of a kickstand to prop it open, like the hood of a car. Next, we want to flip the keyboard up to try to get access to that mod wheel. I'm going to try to move the camera. Here's the underside of the keyboard. So you see this right here? That's a variable resistor that controls the mod wheel. My next order of business is to test that with a multimeter and see if that resistor is still working. So here's the deal. A resistor is a component that limits the flow of electricity, and this meter is very simple. All I do is attach a probe to each side of the resistor, and it should tell me how much resistance there is. And if there's none, if the resistor's broken, it'll say 0. And as we can see, it said 0. The resistor's fried. While I don't have a replacement variable resistor, I do have a fixed value resistor. This should be enough to at least bypass the mod wheel for the time being. I've attached it with a temporary socket, so when the mod wheel eventually does get replaced, all they have to do is reattach the original connector. And with that, I think we're ready to close this thing up again. Okay, let's give it a spin. Oh my gosh, it's so much better. At this point, I forget that I'm making a video. I start playing with the envelopes, the filters. I get lost in the controls. I ended up recording a full hour before coming to and realizing I should probably try to make some music. There is one thing I really wish this thing had, a sequencer. I'm not a great keyboard player, and it would be wonderful to be able to set up little loops of notes. Nowadays, if you want to hook up your computer to a synthesizer, you use the MIDI protocol. But when this synth came out, MIDI hadn't been invented yet, so instead we have to use control voltages. To that end, I'm hooking up my trusty Arturia keystep so that it can convert between MIDI and control voltage. I'm just making a quick arpeggiated sequence to see if this works. I'm going to add some reverb. Next, I'm going to try to come up with something to kind of fill out the lower end of the sound spectrum. Now, in theory, it would be nice to incorporate some of the presets. That's right, even though this is from the 70s, it actually has a way of storing 8 different sounds. The ones on this instrument would presumably have been made by the instrument's original owner, Clayton Larson. In addition to teaching music at the elementary school level, he was a serious composer of what is now sometimes called academic music. On that note, let's check out these presets. Sounds like a car alarm. That's kind of cool. There's a strange intimacy in hearing the sounds that somebody else chose to save. I'm not sure I'm going to find any among these that will actually fit with the music I was making. It occurs to me that this synthesizer, the CS-20M, is sort of a baby version of the massive CS-80, which Vangelis used throughout the Blade Runner soundtrack. If you look on YouTube, there's an inspiring and very blurry video of Vangelis singing the praises of the CS-80.
Okay. That's a simple thing.
Obviously, the piece of music I've been working on sounds nothing like that, but it might be nice to come up with a lead sound that's bigger and spacier anyway. To that end, I'm turning up the reverb. Since we don't have a functioning mod wheel, I'm going to try to use the depth knob to add some vibrato. We'll see how that works out for me. Thank Augie and Hillary for letting me borrow this synth. I've taken some of my favorite sounds from the CS-20M and turned them into a free, decent sampler library. There's a link in the description to this video. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that the Decent Samples Black Friday sale is on now. Almost everything is on sale for 30% off, and my own Refractions plugin is back down to $29. Okay, I think that's it. See you soon.